Formula One, a sport that spans hearts, minds and nations, where the 20 best drivers in the world come together to take on some of the world's most historic circuits. And that legacy continues today. The 2021 championship was thrilling from start to finish, and 2022 is set to be even better. New regulations will usher in an age of pioneering changes. New driving talent alongside returning champions will be dueling it out to the bitter end. The pressure will be on the team principals in the upcoming season as they manage their drivers, their cars and the whole team to push to victory. This is not a challenge for the faint-hearted. This is Formula One. Mercedes returned to F1 in 2010, and since 2014 they've won the Constructors' Championships back-to-back every year. In 2021 they took home the Constructors' Championship once more, although they narrowly missed out on the Drivers' Championship, coming in second. Heading into 2022, Mercedes will insist on dominating the competition. Nothing less than the fastest car and the most wins will give the Silver Arrows the outcome they want to see at the end of this new season and beyond. The Red Bull team burst onto the F1 scene in 2005, and ever since 2009, they've been one of the top 3 teams in the championship. Last season ended brilliantly for them. Max Verstappen won the prestigious Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull are flying high once more. Heading into 2022 under the right leadership, Red Bull could find themselves heading up the pack once more. They'll certainly be hoping to end the season with not 1 but 2 championship trophies for their cabinet back home in Milton Keynes.
Hi there, nice to meet you. I'm Audrey Mensah, one of the team's senior engineers. Welcome to the team. It's great to have you on board. The pressure is on here at Mercedes to retake our place at the top of both the constructors' and drivers' standings. We've done it before and we can definitely do it again. Let's show you around and get started. As our new team principal, you're responsible for a lot of aspects of the team. Everything from managing our team's growth, overseeing our finances, and deciding on race day strategies will be in your hands. You can keep an eye on most things from your dashboard here. I can take you through it now. First up, an overview of the board. They're the ones who set the expectations for the team. If they're confident in your leadership, you'll be fine. If they lose confidence in you, however, they might look to replace you. The board sets season objectives for the team to achieve. Reaching them will help keep confidence high, so be sure to familiarise yourself with what's expected. You'll want to keep an eye on the long-term objective for beyond this season as well. Okay then, let's look ahead to the race weekend. We need to start preparing for the next Grand Prix, which will be the first of the season. As it's your first day though, there's nothing urgent for you to address. Feel free to explore more, or you can select continue and sign off for the day. Once you do, time will pass, but don't worry about missing anything. You'll automatically sign back in if an important event comes up. Okay, you want to get started with a design project. These are car parts we can design and manufacture in-house. Each car part impacts different areas of a car's performance, but certain car parts will have a greater impact than others. You can also view our car performance by rank on grid. This is a useful comparison tool and lets you see how our performance compares to that of all the other cars on the grid. Take a look over the different car parts. The highlights indicate which performance areas they impact the most. Pick one that impacts the ratings you want to improve. The team's expertise in making new car parts improves with experience, so each new design is likely to be better than an older one. Just make sure to check the new design against the one currently installed. Testing is also an important step in designing a new car part. Our testing time is limited throughout the season, and it's up to you to decide how much to commit to each design project. If you assign some testing time to this design now, you can see what effect it will have on the car part. Once you've taken a look, let's continue. You can direct the engineering team to focus on specific areas of performance. F1 car parts are complex, and sometimes you'll have to sacrifice performance in one area to achieve gains in another. Over the season, we'll understand more about our car's performance, which will help you to guide the team's design focus. You can try altering the focus now if you like, or else stick with a balanced approach. When you're ready, continue with the process. One of my favorite places. This is where the car builds happen, and where we develop and store our car parts. Throughout the season, you'll want to make sure the team are working on upgrading components, and that both cars are being kept in good repair. You can also use car analysis to compare our car builds to other teams. This is where you'll carry out your final preparations for the next race. We'll come back here later. This is your calendar for the month. Pay attention to the events that have been marked. The race weekends have already been added for you. More events will get added as the season progresses. This is where you'll find relevant information on the team's drivers and reserve driver, including their performance ratings and contract details. You can also scout for new drivers to make sure we have the best driver pairing we can. It's not just the fastest car that makes a team the best in F1. It's the people doing the hard work behind the scenes. Manage your staff from here, from department heads to your pit crew, and keep up to date on their performance. From here, you can see all the team's facilities, from the staff buildings to the car part development centres. You can build new facilities or, if the team has the time and money, upgrade our existing ones. Facilities affect all areas of our team's performance. Over time, facilities will degrade and become less effective, so keep an eye on their condition. When this happens, we'll need to look at refurbishing or even upgrading that facility to get back to maximum efficiency. Don't forget to check in with the board often. You can monitor board confidence levels, your available budget, and your progress towards a greater team from here. Here you can delve deep. As a final step before the team gets started on this design project, you need to decide how many engineers you want working on it. You should also decide what approach they should take. Bear in mind, these decisions will have an impact on the duration and cost of the project. When you're happy with everything, confirm the project and the team will get started. Nice work. That's the project started. If you check your calendar, you'll see the team have given you a delivery date for the design. Once it's complete, you can direct. As a final step, bear in mind these decisions. Nice work. That's the project started. If you check your calendar, you'll see the team have given you a delivery date for the design. Once it's complete, you'll be able to manufacture that part. Continually designing new car parts is imperative to improving our team's performance and staying competitive on the track. Check out the car analysis area regularly to see how our cars compare to others on the grid. It's no longer your first day. We'll have you on top of things in no time. You'll continue moving through days this way until it's time for the race, which you can see in the upcoming events list. It's good to get in the habit of regularly checking that list. Let's take a look at what needs doing today. You have an alert in the top corner. There's an important email awaiting a response, so you should check your inbox when you're ready. Looks like you've received a budget approval request. Most of the team's budget is decided by the board at the start of the season, plus whatever we get from last season's prize money and any extra sponsorship revenue we earn. I reckon that's a good decision. It should keep the team in high spirits anyway. Now that's dealt with, we can focus on our first Grand Prix of the season. The race weekend is still a few days away, so move forward when you're ready. There's always some final work to do before we can set off. Check your inbox for the race prep report on this weekend's circuit. Okay, you have all the information you should need. Let's head to race preparation to see if there's any remaining tasks for us to complete. This is your One thing you'll always need to do before each race weekend is setting our performance targets. These help us generate more potential rewards for the team. Here we've got the performance targets for this coming weekend. If we meet these, we'll gain extra revenue. Looks like we've got incentives for both the qualifying session and the race. If we can reach those targets, we'll get an additional payout, and it won't cost the team anything if we don't meet them. You can also decide to add targets here and offer our sponsors guarantees. These are a risk, as we face a potential financial loss if we don't meet them. But if we do, we'll gain a much larger reward. Okay, if you want to offer a guarantee for this weekend and raise the team's potential rewards, now is your chance. That feels like something we can achieve without too much difficulty. Okay, we're done here. Let's head back. You've done everything needed, and the team can't wait to get started. It's time for the first race of the season. You can take some more time to look around if you like. When you're ready, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula One. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Let the weekend begin!
Great to see you again. Welcome to your first race weekend with the team. It's Friday, so we're kicking off with free practice one as usual. Over here is our race preparation area. This is where you can make any changes you need ahead of the upcoming practice session. Rest assured the team have already prepared the cars for practice. When you're ready, we can continue to the practice session. During race weekends, you can decide whether you want to manage the practice sessions yourself or whether to hand over control to your team. As it's your first race weekend, you should let the team handle the practice sessions.
Welcome back as we continue our race weekend. Practice has finished and qualifying is hot on its heels. There's very little time to relax because each and every driver will need to bring their A game to the track for qualifying. They'll need to push themselves to the limit if they're to be challenging for a strong grid position. You simply never know what you'll see come qualifying. Let the competition commence.
To help maximise our drivers' performance, the team have them work on 3 goals during practice: track acclimatisation, car parts knowledge, and setup confidence. If you manage the session yourself, you might get an even better performance from the drivers for the rest of the weekend. Right, time for qualifying. Our results here will determine where we start on the grid for Sunday's race. Qualifying takes place over 3 knockout rounds, and only the fastest drivers will advance each time. Same as practice, the team can handle qualifying for you if you like. Let's get you hands-on for this round though, just to make sure you're feeling confident before race day kicks off. Our drivers need to be setting their fastest possible lap times, so we can advance to the next round of qualifying. The slowest 5 cars will be knocked out. Keep a careful eye on time remaining. The time limit on qualifying rounds really ramps up the pressure. Right then, let's get a car out on the track for its first run and see how it goes. Each car is fitted with a number of onboard cameras, so you can see the action as it happens. You can also use the map view if you like. It gives you a good overview of the whole track and all the cars. Remember, you're managing 2 drivers throughout the session, so make sure to keep an eye on both of them. From the data view, you can see live data from the current session. Here we can see the latest lap and sector times for all drivers, and an overview of their tyre conditions. Here you can also view how the current session could affect the drivers' and constructors' championship stand-ins. There's plenty more to dive into with the data view, so make sure you spend some time exploring.
Yeah, copy. Temps are climbing. Temps are now climbing.
Okay.
So struggling, weak tyre temps at the moment.
Yeah, copy.
That's a decent time for a flying lap. Keep an eye on the standings throughout the session and try and keep the drive. Right then. That qualifying run is done, so the driver will return to the pits now. I know everything happens so fast over a race weekend, but if you need to catch your breath, you can pause for as long as you like. Or, if things aren't moving fast enough for you, you can speed up a little. Our driver is back in the pits. You need to reconfigure the car before we can send them back out. Let's go and take a look. The team will make sure the run plan is updated to include refueling. So all you have to do is fit some fresh tyres. Here you can see all the tyre compounds available this weekend. When making any changes, just be sure you're considering both the condition and the compound of the selected tyre. We want maximum performance during qualifying, so let's use a fresh, soft compound tyre. Soft tyres are the fastest in... I wouldn't recommend using these tyres. We'd be best using a fresh soft set for the current conditions. But the car is ready to head back out at your say-so. It's probably best the track will have more grip later.
Cool the tires as much as you can.
Copy.
So just cool tires down.
Understood. Session is over.
We're through to Q2. Great work. In Q2, the fastest 15 cars from Q1 battle it out for only 10 places. It's up to you whether you manage the rest of the qualifying rounds. If you want, you can let the team take control, so you can focus on the upcoming race.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
We saw a reasonable push from Mercedes in qualifying, and they'll have plenty of opportunities here to achieve a great result. The work Red Bull did during qualifying was nothing short of spectacular. Now let's see if they can repeat that for today's race. The weather is beautifully clear tonight, which is one less problem for the teams to face. Of course, that doesn't take anything away from the unpredictability of this race.
But which team has perfected the strategy that will see them prevail today, here at the Bahrain Grand Prix?
Right then, time for the main event, the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is a great time for us to get some early points under our belt. So let's stay focused and push hard. Each driver will need to make at least one pit stop to fit new tyres. On average, a pit stop will cost a driver about 25 seconds. Let's set a tyre strategy for our drivers now. We need to make sure we have a good plan for when we want the cars to pit. Every race weekend, The team will prepare some recommended strategies to choose from. Let's see what they suggest for this race. Okay, strategy A is a fast but risky option, relying on 2 soft stints and no hard compound at all. Strategy B is a well-balanced option, 2 soft stints and a nice long middle stint on a hard compound. Right, strategy C is a slower but safe option for this track. We'll tackle the final stint on a medium compound instead of a soft tyre. If you think a different approach could work, you can make changes to any of the team strategies or even create one from scratch. We can always adapt our strategy during the race, so we can respond quickly to changing conditions and stay ahead of the pack. Right, strategy A it is. This is going to need careful management to pull off, so keep a close eye on things. Okay, now to select a strategy for our other driver. It doesn't have to be. You should consider picking a different strategy. That's both drivers with a set strategy in place. Right, let's head back to the preparation.
We have clear weather tonight as we look at the drivers in their grid positions. And here we've got Lewis Hamilton. A top 10 position today, but will they be able to capitalise on it? And here we can see Russell. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. The race start is mere seconds away. And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
During the race, you can use the strategy view to check on each driver's strategy and adjust them if need be. You can also check the strategy graphs to see how a car's tyre wear is matching up to the team. You can also use the car and track tabs to view more details about them. The car tab shows you current and projected component condition and fuel loads, while the track tab has more information about weather and track grid. During the race itself, you can direct the team drivers in 3 main ways. Each option will help drivers increase their speed, but will come with a cost in different areas. Increased pace will improve lap times, but at the cost of increased tyre temperature and wear, which can lead to more pit stops and higher risk of tyre failure. You can instruct the drivers in how to manage their fuel. Using more fuel will give them more speed, but you need to ensure there's always enough left to finish the race, as refueling is banned. Finally, you can adjust the ERS strategies for each driver. Higher ERS strategies give the driver a boost of power when racing, but will also drain the car's battery. Timing and battery management are everything here. Fuel commands allow drivers to manage their car's fuel consumption. Just keep an eye on your remaining fuel. If we run out, the car will...
DRS has been enabled.
If we're driving... There are 3 ERS strategies that deploy more energy than they harvest, but each use that energy for a different purpose. Overtake and defend are best for getting ahead of cars or for keeping them behind you. Deploy is the fastest strategy available. Harvest will prioritize charging up the battery instead of using energy for performance. Neutral will maintain the current battery charge over a lap, which gives a nice balance of energy deployment and... Managing pace will help you manage a car's tyre temperature and wear. Keep an eye on the tyre condition.
So charge a bit the pack.
Covering.
And save fuel.
Covering.
Right, push hard now.
Covering.
We've just had a car run wide.
Overtake and press. Overtake, press.
Understood.
And just charge the pack.
Okay.
Charge the pack.
Yep, fine.
As the race progresses,
Easily the
remember to
fastest
keep
out
an
of
eye on the
100
planned
miles.
strategy you put in place before the race. The strategy view will let you check your strategy, adjust it. The data view is also an
So charge off.
Copy.
Have overtake as well.
Copy.
Reduce, lift and close.
Copy. So just charge that pack.
Understood.
Overtake will be available.
Copy. Increase in lift and coast.
Someone's run wide.
So watch out for DRS.
Yep.
So charge the pack.
Copy.
Definitely broke your game here. Well done. Proud of you.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
If we could have an overtake press. Overtake press. Such an awesome job, mate.
Mercedes moved up a place. Alpha Tauri gained a place.
You have overtake.
Okay.
Lift and coast.
Copy.
We're going to push hard.
Copy.
Just push. More lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
Okay, our driver has just entered the pit window. The pit window encompasses the laps that cover the planned pit stops in your strategy. This means it's nearly time to call the planned pit stop. Unless you think there's a reason to pit immediately, I always recommend sticking to the strategy and pitting on the optimal lap.
Just going to need some lift and coast. Yeah, copy. There's only so much I can do.
That's a position gained for Alpha Tauri.
We got a yellow at 15.
Copy.
Lift and coast for fuel.
Yeah.
call a pit stop? Bring the driver in and follow our planned strategy. Let's talk tyres. During dry races, all cars need to use at least 2 different tyre compounds. If a car doesn't comply with this rule, it will be disqualified from the race. Right, let's talk tyres. Ultimately, it's your decision. Once you've decided which...
So push hard, push hard. We might stop you.
Yep, fine.
Tires are getting hot.
Yeah, copy, Lewis. Overtake is available.
Yep.
So to lift and coast.
Coming.
So Verstappen in the pits, he will come ahead 5 seconds.
Okay, box, 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 box.
In the box itself.
lockup.
Perez in the pit lane. Increase the lifting coast just a little.
Understood.
And just charge the pack.
Okay.
This is good stuff.
It's a race position gained for a Mercedes.
So you have overtake.
Copy.
So watch out for the DRS.
Yeah, copy, all good.
Charge the pack.
Copy. So just charge that pack.
Alpha Tauri gained a place. It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Looks like there's been a lockup. Seems to have been a lockup. Mercedes moved up a place. That's a good overtake from Alpine. Was that a lock-up on the track? It's a race position gained for Mercedes. Alpine just advanced.
And think about less lifting coast.
Reduce lift and coast.
Recovery. You have fastest lap.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri. It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
And think about increasing the lifting coast just a little.
Yep.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
So push hard.
Copy.
Overtake will be available.
Copy. Overtake is available.
Understood.
Just keep the pressure on. You can do this. VSC, VSC.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
We have a yellow. VSC is ending.
Push hard now. So watch out for DRS.
And just charge the pack.
Understood.
DRS has been enabled.
Rear's dropping off a little bit.
Okay, copy this.
Check my tyres.
You have overtake.
Copy. just got one lap remaining.
Is that a lockup? Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
We have checkered flag now.
There's a long way to go, but let's keep pushing, guys. I believe in you.
Well done, mate. We believe in you too. But yeah, we'll have a chat later.
Lewis Hamilton did okay here today. There's no doubt that Mercedes have a lot of potential. Now they need to figure out how to make it work for them.
Yes, this was a contrasted performance, but there were some good moments. There is promise here of great things down the line.
That's right, and they finished the race weekend in third place in the constructor standings.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
The team's drivers gain experience over each race weekend, depending on their performance. With enough experience, your drivers will be able to improve their skills. That was a great opening weekend for our team. The board and our sponsors are pleased, and we've earned some extra money for our performance. You can see their response in more detail from the board menu. Take a look at what you can be doing before the next race weekend gets here. Our time is precious, and these moments between races are a good point to develop our team further. You should have an email from the engineering team over in the warehouse. Check it out. It might be something interesting. looks like the engineering team have just finished manufacturing a car part. It's a suspension system, one the team designed earlier. Improving our cars is a constant process. The other teams won't be taking it easy, and having a cutting-edge car is vital if we want to stay competitive against our rivals. New car parts are initially designed by the team. They can then be manufactured and installed on either car. This suspension has already been manufactured, so we just need to install it. To do this, head over to the car warehouse. From the cars area, you can manage everything relating to the cars and their build. From car analysis to car parts to new development. Uninstalled car parts are stored in the warehouse, including our newly manufactured suspension. We might be able to use it to improve one of our current car setups. Here at the warehouse, you can find all the car parts that make up an F1 car. We can develop aerodynamic car parts in-house during the season. You're here for the new suspension. Right, all the available suspension designs are here to look through. Notice how both cars currently have the same suspension design installed. Check the new design at the top of the list. As each car can only have one suspension fitted, you'll want to check the stats of the new design to see if it's worth replacing the old one. Take the time here to compare the two designs. You may also want to pay attention to the stats that are crucial for the next race and see which suspension is more suitable for that circuit. Looks like this new design only has positive impacts on the car. That's great news. We only have one copy of this suspension at the moment, so you need to decide which car to install it on. Select the new suspension design and get it installed. Can't wait to see this in action on the race week. Great work. That's the new suspension fitted. If you want to have more copies of this design manufactured, you can do so from here. Just remember those F1 mandated spending caps, the official limit on how much we can spend on car development and improvement each season. If you don't want the team to manufacture anything right now, we should probably head back.